Hello, my wonderful spirit guides. Today I am going to be reacting to Fiona Apple Fetch the Bolt Cutters. And you know, it's been a long time coming. I'm literally so excited to do this. I said I was going to do it, I think like in October, or September. I said I was going to be doing it for November. I can't remember, but it feels like a while ago now. And this one, I don't know what it is. I'm just really excited. Some of you might have seen that me and my sister did a cover to Criminal by Fiona Apple, and I knew that song from watching American Horror Story, and I loved it so much. And then I ended up loving the song, and I wanted to do a cover of it. However, I've really not heard much else from Fiona Apple. I think I've heard the song Fetch the Bolt Cutters. Is there a song called that? Yeah, there is. Yeah, I've heard that song. Yeah, I'm just going to get right on into it and see how it goes. But if you'd like to become a patron, please do. Live stream, song requests, early access, uncut content. And there's one spot left in the album request here. Although that the requests will be for like January at this point. It's good to get like the spot now so that it's definitely guaranteed. But anyway, yeah. Let's get into it. Follow me on Instagram, I shall follow you back. Go check out my website, and if you want any of your work on my website, then use the contact form on the website. There's lots of poetry, art, music, whatever you want. I put out one a week, so yeah, go for it. Also, a bit of a different backdrop today. I'm doing it in my living room because it's the only room that I've put heating on in at the moment because it's so expensive. So I want it to be a bit more cozy. So yeah, first song is called I Want You to Love Me. Interesting sounds. Nice.
I've waited many years. Every print I left upon the track has...
Oh, just 1 second. Do you want to get the lyrics up? I do this every time. Every time I do this. Also, whilst I'm paused, that was a really interesting start. You know, the start was very different to then that piano that came in. And also what I noticed with the piano, the doom sounded really like masculine, and then the piano sounded very feminine. I don't know. Obviously, that's all subjective. But it had that kind of like boom, like prettiness and that darkness all in one. And I'm not saying that males are dark and women are pretty and lovely. You get me anyway. But yeah, I'm very interested. I'm going to go back a little bit.
I've waited many years. Every print I left upon the track has led me here.
Her voice is amazing.
Time I hope that you love me.
Oh,
you
really carrying that note.
love me.
Wow.
I move with the trees in the breeze. I know the time is elastic.
Oh, her voice is really cool. Her voice actually reminds me a little bit of Joanna Newsom. What I've heard from Joanna Newsom anyway. I've only heard one song, but there's like little nuances in the way she speaks, like and sh, you know, that kind of sound. I like it. I really like how it's like da, 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 da. She's got a swing going on in her vocal, but also not just a swing. It's just like movement in different ways, and it's like she's being playful with the vocal.
And I know when I go, all my particles disband and disperse, and I'll be back in the pulse.
Ooh, very emotive.
I know none of this will
That gravel.
matter in the long run, but I know a sound is still a sound around no one.
That's cool.
And while I'm in this body, I'll you. To love me, you.
Nice crescendo in the vocal there. She goes, you So she does vibrato, and then she goes into a straight tone, and then she does vibrato again, and that's called like a crescendo. And that's really cool. It just shows that she's actually like knows how to flip between the two, whereas some people can only really do vibrato and some can only really do straight tones. It just shows that she's actually a good like singer. Like she's a singer of you know what I mean? Not just she doesn't sing just because she wants to make music. She's a singer, and clearly a lyricist. I love that bit of gravel in her voice too. Ooh, with the crow, two-tone. Oh, I love that. Oh, come on. Bit of ragtime sort of feeling.
And I want you to use it. Blast the music. Bang it, bite it, bruise it.
Ooh, very cool.
We don't have to go back to
theatrical.
Where we've been. I am the woman who wants you to win, and I've been waiting for you.
I love the piano here. Ooh! I love how eclectic it is. It's like experimental and acoustic. Oh wow. That's really cool. Oh, very cool. That reminds me of Janis Joplin. That reminded me a lot of Janis Joplin towards the end there. And a few songs of people that do that, but I love that. Wow, very cool. You can tell she's like, she is cool, you know. She's got something about her that's a little bit earthy, maybe. There's a little bit of anger in her. She's very passionate. She's got something about her that is strong. It reminds me of a lot of like women I know, and most of the women I'm thinking of are like kind of middle-aged as well. I was just wondering how old she was on this one, because I know she was quite young, like when she came on the scene. But yeah, I'll have a look. So she's 44 now, and Fetch the Bolt Cutters actually came out last year, so that does make sense. So she was 43 when this came out. That makes me really curious to hear her, you know, after hearing this, I really would love to hear some of her older songs, because I feel like with Criminal, that was like a really, that was like an older one, wasn't it? Like she was quite young in that one. Yeah, that came out in 1996. So that's quite a while ago, 1 year after I was born. So yeah, I'm excited to hear this, and then I'm excited to hear something else from before. It's really cool that she's still making music, and it still has that like cool vibe. But I knew she had a voice of a maturer woman. I felt really connected to it on like another level, really. I often feel like my soul is quite old. So not trying to be like, I have an old soul. I just literally do feel a little bit older than people that are older than me sometimes. I think a lot of us can feel like that, can't we? Yeah, I just resonated with that. And I love that little squeaky bit at the end. You know, that is something I'm aware that some people might find that odd or strange. But to me, those are the things that really make magic, that really draws me in. There's something about it. There's like a real emotion and passion. So theatrical, and yeah, like I said, Janis Joplin. Yeah, I love it. The next song is called Shameika. The piano is so good.
I used to walk down the streets on my way to school, grinding my teeth to a rhythm invisible.
Ooh, cool lyrics.
I used my feet to crash cymbals. In class I passed the time, drawing a slash for every time. The second hand went by, a group of 5 done 12 times, just a minute, but
wow.
Shameika said I had potential. Shameika said I had potential. Shameika said
this
I
is very
had
indie.
potential. Shameika said I had potential. Thinking it made me come off so tough. I didn't smile because a smile always seemed rehearsed. I wasn't afraid of the bullies, and that just made the bullies worse. Shameika said I had potential. Shameika said I
a lot
had
of bluesy stuff.
Shameika said
and rock and
I had
roll.
potential. Hurricane Gloria in Excelsis Dale. That's my bird and my tree. My dog and my man and my music is my holy trinity.
Ooh!
Tony told me he described me as pissed off, funny and warm. Sebastian said I'm a good man and a storm. Back then I didn't know what potential meant.
Ooh, yeah, I got a pause because I just wanted to mention I love the way she says her words. She's storytelling, and I don't just mean that like how a lot of people storytell in their music. She's like really, it's like she's reading a story. She's reading from her biography or something. She's telling us stuff as if it's like she's talking to a friend. And she really speaks it like that, you know, not sticking to the rules of line lengths and so on, just really going for it. And it does remind me a lot of Lana Del Rey. Obviously Lana Del Rey is like a more softer, smoother version, and this is like the hyped up kind of version, but the storytelling aspect is very, you know, reminiscent of Lana's like newer stuff. So yeah, I'm liking it. It's really cool. It's hard to like take everything in lyric wise, but that's what makes you want to hear it again and again, just to be able to capture every little bit. I love that.
She got to me and I'll never see her again.
It's so theatrical. I've said that so much now.
I'm pissed off, funny and warm. I'm a good man in the storm. And when the fall is torrential,
Oh, I love that.
I recall. Shameika said I had potential. Shameika said I had potential.
Wow.
She got through to me and I'll never see her again.
Also reminds me of Marina as
I'm
well.
pissed off, funny and warm. I'm a good man in the storm. Shameika
I love
said
that.
I had potential. Shameika said I had potential.
Ooh, so many sounds. Some of those scrapey plots. I love the amount of like percussion that is used. It reminds me of like being in school and picking up like shakers and all the different like drum things. But yeah, do you remember being in primary school, or like whatever it's called in America? Is it elementary? I don't really know. But getting like those little wooden blocks with like the ridges and like scraping them, wood scrapers, and then like also having like the triangle and like little maracas, like, oh yeah, maracas and shakers. You know, it reminds me of that, all those different sounds. And she is talking about being in school and stuff like that, being younger. I know she probably is going to use that percussion throughout most of this album, but it's still, I don't know, I liked that for that song because of what she was talking about. That's cool. Okay, next song is Fetch the Bolt Cutters, which I have heard.
I've been.
Oh, I don't think I have heard this actually.
When I was trying to be your friend, I thought it was.
No, I haven't.
Then, but it wasn't. It wasn't genuine. PYTs and wannabes, afraid not being your friend.
Wow.
And I've always been too smart for that, but you know what? My heart was not. I took it like a kid, you see. The cool kids voted to get rid of me. I'm ashamed of what it did to me, what I let get done. It stole my fun, it stole my fun. Fetch the bolt cutters. I've been in here too long.
Right, what I'm going to say as well, this is one of those albums where I don't think I'm going to know much about what the lyrics are about, really. Like, they're very personal, very deep to herself. Like I said, they're conversational and they're storytelling, but they don't actually portray a story of, like, start, middle, and end. It's more of, like, just thoughts and talking to someone else entirely, maybe not even the listener. So, like, I think I might have to do a bit more of a lyric deep dive with this album. Maybe I'll, do one for my website. It won't be immediate, but I'll work on it because I'd like to know a bit more, and I love writing about the lyrics, so maybe I'll try that. Yeah.
Festival cutters.
I really like that harmony.
He sings so nice. I can see your friend. I thought it was then, but it wasn't. It wasn't genuine. Festival cutters. I've been in here too long. While I'd not yet found my bearings, those it girls hit the ground, comparing the way I was to the way she was saying, I'm not stylish enough and I cry too much. And I listened because I hadn't found my own voice yet. So all I could hear.
Oh, I liked that. I liked how it had like the vocal delaying after it and it was saying the same thing, but it did feel like a voice in the background and it felt like lots of voices. Well, two voices. But like, you know, she's saying like comparing the way I was to the way she was, saying I'm not stylish enough, I cry too much. Then when she says, and I listened because I hadn't found my own voice yet. It was her voice alone. And it was like, oh, she found it. She found her voice and there it was, just the one that was speaking alone. That's really clever. I like that.
The noise that people make when they don't know shit.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that yet.
I love
I grew
that.
up in the shoes they told me I could fill. When they came around, I would stand real still.
Wow.
A girl can roll her eyes at me and kill. I got the idea I wasn't real. I grew up in the shoes they told me I could fill.
I love
Shoes that
that.
were not made for running up that hill. And I need to run up that hill. I need to run up that
Kate
hill.
Bush reference.
I will. Vegetable cutters.
I love how it's like dogs and cats.
Vegetable cutters. Whatever happens, I will. Vegetable cutters.
Oh, I'm really getting into that shuffly drum. That dog barking feels like the owner's coming home. Someone knocking on the door sort of thing. Oh. Interesting. Well, I imagine that was recorded and there was real dogs in the background whilst being recorded, I suppose. Or at least a recording put underneath it. But it was interesting having the dogs in it because it felt like homely, but it also felt like there was someone coming home or a knock on the door and the dog's going, you know, crazy. And she's talking about fetch the bolt cutters. I've been in here too long. That reminds me of like the whole pandemic and so on. When you think of dogs, sometimes you think of dogs being trapped or animals being trapped in a situation. Sometimes you have to leave your dog at home or, you know, well, dog stays at home when you go to work or something. And when you come back, they are like so overexcited. Not sure what they're barking for, but there was some sort of like a free me element to it kind of thing and being locked in there and her sounding like a home recording too. And she's saying, I've been in here too long, which clearly means like she's been in her mind, she's been in herself, she's been in her psyche, she's been in her own way, maybe for a long time. But it also relates to like being in your house, like being in the house and it being made in 2020. That could make a lot of sense. So yeah, that was really interesting. I really got into that shuffly sound as it got in there a bit more. And that verse, that fifth verse actually, I really enjoyed that one. And also the fourth verse. Yeah, fourth and fifth verse I really liked. I was like, oh, I got a little bit more of insight, I suppose, to what she was talking about. It does seem like she was talking about her career and being compared to different people. And when she says, I fit the shoes they told me I could fill, I thought that was interesting because it's like, that might have been something exciting for her, but once she put on those shoes that she could fill, it wasn't what she thought it would be. It's not what it seems. I'm not sure. I'll definitely want to look into it though. Anyway, Under the Table, next song. I also remembered a few of you saying that there is a song on here, or there's a couple songs in here that talk of SA and R, and that I, just to warn me about it because I get triggers and so on. Thank you for letting me know. I'm very prepared and I'm ready. But thank you. I really appreciate that. I did have a little skim of the lyrics before recording, like a couple weeks ago I did. But I'm ready for that, so don't worry about that too much. Right, anyway, Under the Table.
I would beg to disagree, but begging disagrees with
Ooh,
me.
that's cool.
I told you I didn't want to go to this dinner. You know I don't go for those ones that you bother about.
Yeah.
So when they say something that makes me start to simmer, that fancy wine won't put this fire out. Oh, kick me under the table all you want. I won't shut up. I won't shut up.
Oh, I love it.
I'd like to buy you a pair of pillow-soled hiking boots to help you with your climb, or rather to help the bodies that you step over along your route, so they won't hurt like mine.
Wow.
Kick me under the table all you want. I won't shut up. I won't shut up.
There's a lot of rock and roll in this.
And if I don't wanna go, leave me alone. Don't push me, cookie. Don't push me. Don't you push me. If you get me to go and I open my mouth to the fucking mutton that they're talking about, you could pout, but don't you shush me. Kick me under the table all you want. I won't shut up. I won't shut up. Kick me under the table all
I like
you
that.
want.
I love it. This song feels actually quite simple, but like, it's like she was just annoyed, like, one day, and she was like, oh, like, look, if you want me to come to this dinner, you just, you know, you have to be aware that, like, I don't enjoy these dinners, and I'm probably going to be very chatty and probably talk about things that annoy you, so, but you're going to have to put up with it because you've invited me to this thing, you know I didn't want to go, and now you're trying to shut me up while I'm here. And she's probably just annoyed about it, and it felt like she just, like, yeah, I'm going to make a little song about it. It's like the day after or something, and she's like, yeah, I need to write about this. You know, it just feels like a little jam, a little moment to get something off her chest. There might have a deeper meaning to it, but it feels quite simple to me, really, and I kind of love it.
Kick me under the table all you want. I won't shut up.
Oh, I like
I
that.
won't shut up. And if I don't wanna go, leave me alone. Don't push me, cookie. Don't push me. Don't you push me.
I love that. The gritted
If you
teeth.
get me, don't you shush me.
Oh, nice. Oh, I like the way it like pulls back into that after such a big moment.
Under the table all you want.
I won't shut up. I won't shut up.
Kick me under the table all you want. I won't shut up.
Oh, that's a cool one. That one had a bit more of like fun in it, I feel. Yeah, like I felt like you could just sing to that one, you can move to that one a little bit. It's more simple than what has been so far. And yeah, it did have something quite fun to it, even though the message is strong in a way too, just being like, oh, leave me alone. It was interesting when she said, cookie, is that like a nickname for someone that she's talking about, or is she saying it in like a patronizing way, like honey, sweetie, sweetheart, darling, you know? I kind of love that though, because you can hear her say it through gritted teeth, like, don't push me, you know, again with the theatre sort of aspect. Even though it's very real, I'm not saying that the feelings behind a song are theatrical, but some people are just a bit more theatrical in their emotions and their way of making music. Anyway, I like it when she says, if you get me to go, I open my mouth to the effing mutton they're talking about. Mutton is usually used for a word as like, it's like a sheep, and like sometimes there's a saying called mutton dressed as lamb, which is like old people dressed as young people. But if she's saying mutton in general, she's talking about like an old people, an old sheep, or just talking about it in a slur, like the old bags, the old people that you know they're talking about. I guess I'll have a little look. The mention of mutton, which is sheep's meat, may be a nod to how an individual who accepts the status quo is called a sheep. Ah, right, okay, so it's talking about being a sheep, following a status quo. Perhaps Apple here is implying that she is not a sheep but is willing to call out offensive talk at the table. She may also be mocking how the term sheeple has been adopted by far-right conspiracy groups. Ooh, cool, okay, that's interesting. And I did imagine her at like a table with like her husband, let's say a husband or like a boyfriend, and there being like lots of men at the table, and her being like bored, and them being kind of like, you know, talking about political stuff, but maybe not very nice people. And I imagine her being like, well, actually, I think this, I da 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 da. Wouldn't you agree? Wouldn't you think this? What if you looked at it like that? I can imagine her being someone that likes to challenge someone's political views. And so she's like, well, don't invite me. Then I won't do it because I can't stop myself. So I like that. All right, next song is called Relay. Oh.
Evil is a relay sport when the one who's burned turns to pass the torch. Evil is a relay sport when the one who's burned turns to pass the torch. Evil is a relay sport when the one who's burned turns to pass the torch. Evil is a relay sport when the one who's burned turns to pass the torch.
That's hard to say,
I
actually.
resent you for being raised right. I resent you for being tall. I resent you for never getting any opposition at all. I resent you presenting your life like a fucking propaganda brochure. And I see that.
Oh, I'll go back a minute, but like, that's interesting. Like, not entirely sure who she's talking about, but in general, those things are like things that you wouldn't want to say. It's like talking about envy, really, or jealousy in a way, you know, being like, I resent you for being raised right, I resent you for being tall, I resent you for having each other, for being so sure. But maybe she's, you know, talking, again, going off the political stuff, maybe she is talking about politics, talking about evil as a relay sport, when the one who's burned turns to pass the torch. I don't know, that just gives me like a political feeling of like how evil can spread in a way to the next person who has the power. In a way, I don't know, but it's like she's saying she's annoyed with these people for being unaware of how bad they are. I'm not sure. It might not be political at all, but talking on a more like general level, it sounds like, you know, when you look at someone's like Instagram and you go, God, you've really got it all, haven't you? You've got the greatest life and I've had to go through all this crap and it looks like you've just had a great upbringing, great this. It's just a bit of jealousy. You know, it's best to stray away from those thoughts because they're not always right. But yeah, I'm interested.
And I see that you keep trying to bait me, and I love to get up in your face. But I know if I hate you for hating me, I will have entered the endless race. Evil is a relay sport when the one who's burned turns to pass the torch.
Wow. Also, just talk about the music, it's got that real marching band sound. So I can actually imagine like a sports day. Again, going back to the school sort of thing, I can imagine like a sports day and doing relay and like the sports day sort of thing. And I can hear like these kind of drums that sort of like at a sports event or like a marching band sort of sound. Cheerleading even.
I resent you for having each other. I resent you for being so sure. I resent you presenting your life like a fucking propaganda brochure.
I love the way she says
and
that.
I see that you keep trying to bait me, and I love to get up in your face. But I know if I hate you for hating me, I will have entered the endless race.
Yeah.
Evil is a relay sport when the one who's burned turns to pass the torch.
I really like this.
Evil sorry.
Ooh, that's cool. Oh, the guitar to follow. I like that. I imagine a lot of this was filmed at her house. Interesting. That ending was very interesting. Like, throughout the choruses, she constantly repeats that evil is a relay sport when the ones who's burned turns to pass the torch. And then at the end there, she's going, wipe it all away, almost forget about it. Like, maybe she was angry whilst writing this. She also says, I'm sorry. That's interesting too. Feels like there's some shame in it, or guilt, or regret, or something. There's something deep to it, is what I'm saying. That's very interesting, and I throw my anger out the door. Definitely stuff I want to look into. Okay, next song is called Rack of His.
I give you pictures and cards on non-holidays, and it wasn't because I was bored. It was because I was loving you so much.
Oh, her voice.
It's the only reason I gave my time to you.
Oh my.
Check out that rack of his. Look at that row of guitar necks, lined up like eager fillies, outstretched like legs of rockets.
Wow.
They don't know what they are in for and they don't care, but I do. I thought you would wail on me like you wail on me, but it was just a coochie coo coo. And meanwhile I'm loving you so much.
Oh, I feel this. This feels strong. I like how she says, I thought you would wail on me like you wail on them. And sometimes that's what people do on, what they call guitars, like wailing on the guitar. Is she talking about, in a way, like how he was more interested in playing his guitar, while she's like following him from room to room, just doing nice things for him. He's more interested in his guitar, in a way. I can relate to that, not with my current relationship, but yeah, I get it. Wow. It kind of says here on Genius, though, that like the guitars are actually women, if you know what I mean. So the guitar rack is to do with her breasts. Yeah, and at the end it does say what I said. What is even more demeaning to her is that this man treats his guitars with more passion than how he treats Fiona herself. And that's what I was talking about. I was just seeing if it said anything about that, because that's how I felt when I listened to it. Ooh, this one feels good. I love her vocals in this one. It feels good, but it's obviously quite sad. But yeah, I feel it.
It's the only reason I gave my time to you.
Oh.
And that's the kicking you giving up. Cause you know you won't like it when there's nothing to do. Meanwhile, I'm loving you so much. That's the only reason that I gave my time to you. And I've been used so many times. I've learned to use myself in kind. I try to drum, I try to write.
Yeah. Interesting. That's interesting too. It's almost like, as well, saying to like a boyfriend, like, when you've got nothing to do, say if you don't have your guitars, or you're not having sex with me, or nothing's sparking your interest, you're kind of dull and you don't have anything to do, and that's why I don't want to be with me. And like when I think of like the quarantine too, this boyfriend, or it might be from ages ago, but it doesn't matter, like that, let's just think of it like this. Maybe he didn't want to be with her because it was boring doing nothing, being like tied down a bit more and not being able to go out and do things. But she's saying like, well, I do lots of things. I try to drum, I try to write. I don't do it well, but I give it a go. I love the line, and I've been used so many times, I've learned to use myself in kind. I really like that. Like, I've never thought of it like that. That's a real spin on, like, when someone uses you, it feels horrible. But then turning it around to being like, I've learned to use myself as like a machinery, or like use myself as a, not machinery, that's a horrible word, but you know what I mean. I've got to use my own body for certain things. I can take that power back by using my own body to try and do things. I kind of love that, honestly. That's quite empowering in the way I interpret it. I just wanted to narrow that down a bit because I can sometimes jump from thought to thought very quickly and then don't like actually say them properly. Basically, I'll try and be as quick as I can, but she's saying that she can think of lots of things to do to entertain herself and so on. But he can't do that. Therefore, he just gets restless and actually is a little bit immature about it. Isn't actually that creative or anything like that. Whereas she's actually creative and can think of lots of positive things to do. He's more negative and is like, oh, I can't do the thing I want to do, so I just feel miserable. That sort of thing. And also when she was saying about using her body, basically I'm trying to say I love that she's now turned it around to something positive and she can use her body to do good things. People have used her in ways that aren't, good for her. But now she can use her own body to do things that are good for her. I just like the way that was, played with. I don't know. But yeah, hope that makes a bit more sense. I'm never sure. Little fade out there as she's just saying it makes it feel more real. That doesn't stop. She knows how to spend her time. That's it. There's no end to that. Interesting. I like that one. I'm really getting into these. Okay, next one was called Newspaper. Ooh, that's a bit different. Ooh. Getting the cutlery out.
I too used to want him to be proud of me, and then I just wanted him to make amends. I wonder what lies he's telling you about me to make sure that we'll never be friends. And it's a shame because you and I didn't get a witness. We're the only ones who know. We were cursed the moment that he kissed us. From then on, it was his big show.
That's relatable.
I was close to you.
Wow.
The way I fell in love with you. I watch him walk over, talk over you, be mean to you, and it makes me feel close to you.
Right, I'm going to pause it now. I don't know who she's talking about, but it sounds like, her ex being with another woman and then seeing the way he treated her the same as he treated Fiona, if you know what I mean. And her being like, oh my God, it just made me love you. It made me care for you, made me want to protect you and hold you. And, you often feel close to people who have gone through the same thing. And this person just so happens to have gone through the exact same thing, with the same person. And on a personal note, I really, really, really relate to this. I had a horrible incident happen to me through someone who was with a very close friend of mine. And he did something to me. And, first of all, it drew a wedge between me and my friend because it was so, I just didn't think she'd believe me. And then it turned out she did believe me because he'd done horrible things to her too. And actually it just created a sisterly bond. And we don't see each other often now, but I still love her. I feel like a sisterly love. It's a deep love. So I really understand this on a very, very, very personal level. It's very cool.
I wonder what lies is telling you about me to make sure that we'll never be friends.
Interesting.
It's a shame because you and I didn't get a witness. We're the only ones who know.
See, that's what I relate to, those two lines.
The moment that he kissed us.
And that.
From then on, it was his big show. Like a flowery crown.
Ooh, the choiry sound.
Sitting that big cat down. And
just want to pause again. When she says, and I'm alone on the summit now, trying not to let my light go out, I couldn't help but still think of her in her house though. So I actually imagined her doing a meditation technique, a visualization technique of her. You know, when you've gone for a bad time, some people like to meditate and visualize things. So I actually imagined her trying to get more in touch with herself, meditating that she's on top of a summit, trying not to let her light go out. I actually visualized it more like that rather than literally. It's like, I'm here now trying to repair myself through meditation and so on. And that's just how I perceived it. But yeah, and there's a lot of this that don't relate exactly to my story, by the way. I just wanted to let you know. But this, like the bit, and it's a shame because you and I didn't get a witness, but the only ones who know we were cursed from the moment that he kissed us. Like those things really relate to me on a level. I and for sure, I can't imagine he wanted us to be friends. But there's still like different parts of my story that make it a little bit different. But yeah, it's kind of crazy how much I do relate to it though.
Try not to let my light go out. You're wearing time like a flowery crown. I'm the story now. Try not to let my light go out. Oh, I too used to want him to be proud of me, and then I just wanted him to make amends. I wonder what
my
I
God,
told you
the
about
music.
me to make sure that we'll never be friends. To make sure that we'll never be friends.
Oh wow, that one was super personal for me actually. It's cool. As I was reading more and more into the words, I was just getting more and more out of them as well. Like, and I was like, I can't pause to say all of this, but like, wow, there's a lot I want to talk about. Okay, next song is called Ladies. Ladies.
Ladies, 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 ladies. Ladies, 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 ladies.
Oh, I like the way she's saying it. Ladies, 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 ladies. Oh.
Ooh, my nation's on the lumen effect and the parallax view, and the figure and the foam and the revolving door that keeps turning out more and more good women like you.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
Woman to whom I won't get through.
This reminds me of Janis Joplin again.
Good women like you. Yet another woman to whom I won't get through. Ladies,
Wow.
ladies, ladies, ladies.
I love that. Oh, I love the slow kind of bluesy, slow rock and roll ballady kind of soulful sound that this has. Definitely giving me Janis Joplin once again. Just that sensation. I love it. Ruminations of the looming effect and the parallax view. I mean, that's a line. I love how percussive the line is and like how she says it though. And the figure and the form and the revolving door that keeps turning out more and more good women like you, yet another woman to whom I won't get through. You know, it sounds like it's like guy again going through lots of amazing women and hurting them, and she can't even, you know, get through to them. She, you know, and like her friends too, like going out with like lots of bad guys all the time, and it's like you can't tell someone like they're not good for you because they won't listen. Once they're caught, and you can't get through to them really. So yeah,
Take it easy when he leaves me. Please be my guest. Do whatever I have left.
oh, and that's very obvious there.
There's a dress in the closet. Don't get rid of it. You look good in it. I didn't fit in it. It was never mine. It belonged to the ex-wife of another ex of mine. She left it
Oh my
behind
gosh.
with a note. One line it said, I don't know if I'm coming across, but I'm really trying. She was very kind.
Oh my God. Oh my, I've got chills. That's got so much depth to it. It's generalizing it in a big way. Like, you know, it belonged to the ex-wife of another ex of mine. So like, there's people far, you know, twice cousins, twice removed. You know, like all these like stretched out women from all over, all going through it with different men, and they're all blending into one. There's always clothes left behind, but it's like all the women that know as well, like, yeah, just have it at this point. I've gone through this so many times, I don't even care. I know what's going to happen, so just wear it. I actually care about you because I know what you're going to go through, and it's just what women go through. Ladies, 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 that's what we go through. I really love that. I really love that.
I'm coming across, but I'm really trying. She was very kind.
Talk about mutton again. See, that's, if it couldn't be any more Janis Joplin, that chorus. Wow. I love it. Yes, bring each other up. This is empowering. That's amazing. That feels like something she really had to learn. Oh, I love her voice like that.
Yet another woman to whom I won't get through. Yet another woman to whom I won't get through. Yet another woman to whom I won't get through.
Oh, I love that one. That one actually might be a favourite of mine. Love the slow jam to it. I love the feeling of it. I love the empowering feeling and not comparing yourself and not being competition. I felt like she had to learn that. Just in the way she said it seemed very therapized, I suppose. She's got the lines so well written because it's something she's had to really formulate in her head. Might have taken some time to not feel that kind of envy and jealousy of her exes having new girlfriends and stuff. But now she's at a point where she's like, it just happens, you know? So let's just empower each other. I mean, like, it's not really your fault, it's his fault, sort of thing, in those certain situations. Like, he's not the good guy. So, yeah, I love that. Next song is called Heavy Balloon.
People like us, we play with a heavy balloon.
Oh.
We keep it up to keep the devil at bay, but it always falls way too soon.
Wow. Very metaphoric.
Keep it up to keep the devil at bay, but it always falls way too soon.
I like that bass.
People like us, we play.
Oh, a little bit of guitar come in.
I spread it like strawberries. I climb like peas and beans. I've been sucking it in so long that I'm busting at the seams.
Wow.
I spread it like strawberries.
Oh, her voice.
In the middle of the days, like the sun with the Sahara, wanna stare me down.
Wow.
Forcing all forms of life inside of me to retreat underground. And it constricts like a boa on a hose. Nothing flows, so the pressure grows instead of the sea. People like us get so heavy and so lost sometimes.
Okay, her vocals are really cool in that, and I also like how like pretty that went, and da 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 da, like it went kind of more like sweeter. And these lyrics are very full. There's a lot to them. There's a lot of words and wordiness to it. I like it. I'm still kind of curious about it. The song.
Is the only place we can find.
I'm like, I can't tell what I think yet.
Down to the same spot enough times in a row. bottom
I
begins to
love
feel like
this
the only
bit.
safe place that you know. But you know what? I spread like strawberries.
And I love that.
I climb like peas and beans.
Her voice is so old school.
I climb like peas and beans. I've been sucking it in so long that I'm busting at the seams.
Oh, that's different. I love that. Oh yeah. Wow. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that was a really interesting one. Like, I say I don't know what I feel about it, but the thing is, I really enjoy every moment of it. I'm just kind of like, it was unique. I guess I'm just trying to wrap my head around every sound. Yeah, I think I'm just trying to compute it all, but I love it. And I would like to look at the lyrics a bit more for that one. Okay, next song is called Cosmonauts. Taking the lift to space.
Your face ignites a fuse to my patience. Whatever you do is gonna be wrong.
Oh, come on with those bluesy
There's
melodies.
no time to interrupt the detonation. Be good to me before you're gone.
Kind of southern as well.
You and now I've changed. What I've become is something I can't be without your loving. Be good to me, it isn't a game. Now let me see, it's you and me. Forgive, good God. How do you suppose that we'll survive? Come on, that's right. Left, right. Make light of all the heavier. Cause you and I will be like a couple of cosmonauts.
Oh, beautiful. So beautiful.
Except with way more gravity than when we started off. When you resist me, hon, I cease to exist. Because I only like the way I look when looking through your eyes.
Through your eyes. I love this one. And the lyrics are so cool. Oh, I mean, I don't even understand what all of it means, but I like the way they sound. But because I only like the way I look when looking through your eyes. Love it. And also just like like that spacey kind of sound, of course. But I love her like southern kind of sound. And when I'm looking through your eyes, I can't even do the way she did it at all. But I love it. Her vocal inflections are like,
Deep dark sky.
Oh.
Now let me see, it's you and me. Forgive, good God.
Oh.
Lighter of the heavier, cause you and I will be like a couple of cosmonauts.
Oh.
Except with way more gravity than when we started off. Whoa, you and I will be like a couple of cosmonauts. Except with way more gravity than when we started off. Started off, started off, started off, started off, started off, baby. Started off, started. You and I will be like a couple of cosmonauts. Except with way more gravity than when we started off. Started off, started off, started off, started off, baby. Started off,
Ooh. That's cool. Way more gravity than when we started off. See, that could be looked at as good or bad to me. Because that could be like way more gravity in a sense of like, if you're going to space, then you don't really want lots of gravity. The whole, like the fun thought of going, the fun thought of going to space is that there is less gravity, and like gravity is sometimes used in a term of like weightiness, you know, and heaviness. And like she talked about the heavy balloon in the last song, letting go of that heaviness. So it could be like, oh, you know, we'll have way more like pain than when we did when we started off, which is not what you'd have when you go to space, you know, in reality. But then the gravity could also mean like grounding, a bit more like of a wholesome feeling, like a better feeling, you know. Having gravity can make you feel rooted and feel good and rooted to the ground and like solidified, and like there's a foundation. But I suppose I'll have to look into the rest of the song properly to really know what it's about. But what I do know is I really, 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 really enjoyed it. Okay, next song is called For Her, and I think this is the one that has, you know, the essay sort of stuff in. I'm certainly ready for it. Actually, I feel very ready for it. I'm actually looking forward to it. But yeah, let's go.
Look at how feathered his cocks are, see how seamless his frocks are. Look at his paper being low without rock star. Look at how long she walks and how far was she lost, or maybe she was not for traveling in the stock car anymore. Or maybe she just got tired of watching him sniff white off a starless breast, treating his wife like less than a guest, getting his girl to clean up his mess, never showing weakness unless it's award season. It's the season of the ward, and she's trying to cut the cord. She's tired of planting her knees on the cold hard floor of facts. When you know that it didn't go exactly like that, you arrive and drive by like a soft bat. Like you know you should know but you don't know where it's at. Like you know you should know but you don't know where it's at. Like you know you should know but you don't know where it's at. You arrive and drive by like a soft stuff bat. Like you know.
Okay, this is cool. The lyrics are going so fast actually, but I like that. Like it's like a rap really, and or like a chant. It's almost been made to sound like like a playground song in a way, or it reminds me of 269, the goose drank wine, I can't remember what that one's called, but it reminds me of that song. Just the layered vocals and stuff, and all, you know, all these words are very hard hitting. It sounds, you know, like celebrities and using people and using women, like sniff white of a starlet's breast, treating his wife like less than a guest. Odd. Getting his girl to clean up his mess, never showing weakness unless it's award seasons. Award season. But it's not award, it's a ward season. But it's like a play on words. It's the season of the ward. What do you mean by the ward? Like do you mean like hospital? And also to like ward someone is like, well, to like protect someone, isn't it? So I'm not entirely sure yet. But yeah, this is going quite fast, so I'm just trying to digest it.
Like you know you should know, but you don't know where it's at. Like you know you should know, but you don't know what you did.
Oh, that drum.
Like you know you should know what happened when I came to bed.
Wow.
Like you know you should know, but you don't know. Well, good morning.
Oh, that voice.
Good morning. You raped me in the same bed your daughter was born in.
Wow.
Good morning. Good morning.
Really comes together in that moment, actually. Slows down a moment. And at good morning, sounds like saying good morning, good morning, like that Disney kind of feeling. That's meant to be quite sweet, but actually it's not sweet at all. And that's interesting. You are me in the same bed your daughter was born in. Like, you know, it's like being like, don't you think that's disgusting? That's what you did. Ugh. Gross. You know what I mean? And her voice as well, just again, like I said, the old school kind of sound. Janis Joplin all over it. I'm sorry, but it is. It's just got that old school kind of rock and roll bluesy sound to it too. Just love it. I'm interested in like you know you should know, but you don't know. I'm interested what that might mean. Okay, so it's marital. Oh, does she mean her daughter? Like, when she's saying your daughter, does she also mean her own daughter? Oh. Wow. That's a powerful, powerful lyric. Anyway, many people do not consider marital/date R to be real R due to the way SV is portrayed in the media. They believe R is only something that only happens on the streets between strangers, not something that can happen between a husband and wife in their own bedroom. This line means that her R-ist didn't think that he was R-ing her because they were in a relationship. Oh yeah. Apple subtly alludes to the act with the lyrics, "What happened when I came to bed," but she later states clearly and powerfully what the man did to her later in the song. Yeah. Strong feeling around that. It could definitely happen in relationships. I'm just letting you know now. Yes. If you don't want to do it and you say you don't want to do it and then it still happens, then you know what that is, okay? People can't just grab you and do what they want. Like, they can't just grab your hand and put it on them, or they can't just start touching you and grabbing you and doing what they want unless they have consent. And it just can't happen. At the end of the day, I know there's relationships where people are like, "Oh, I like it when I'm grabbed," or like we just start doing it. That's fine and all, but as long as you have that consensual sort of thing going on before any of that, and if that means you say, "Hey, I don't feel like it, I don't want you to do that right now," that is actually listened to, then I mean that's different as well. But like, wow, that line is so strong because it's just like, oh, it's just filled with truth, but also like hatred. I think that would cut someone so deep as well, to be like, you did that to me in the same bed your daughter was born in. Like, that would really make someone feel sick. Well, you'd hope so. You'd hope so, because it is sick. Do you know what I mean? It is sick. And yeah, I wonder if he did know. It says, like, you should know, but you don't know. It's like, you should know, but you don't know. It's like, come on, it's obvious that you don't do this, but you don't even know it's bad. And that is actually like a thing that happens in so much relationships, where it's like I think young girls and young boys and young anyone's should be learning about consent and how to do things at an earlier age, teen years especially, because there's a lot of things we don't know, and there's a lot of things women will go along with because they've been so like conditioned to think they're meant to be treated one way, and there's a lot of things men will do because they think that's the way it's meant to be as well. But really, the way it's meant to be, it should be discussed between you both, not something that you've learned on your own somewhere along the line. You need to be able to discuss things with each other. Yeah, this is powerful, but I love it. Sorry, my cat is screaming. What are you doing? Come here. Okay, just meowing for no reason. Anyway, let's carry on.
Good morning. Good morning. You raped me in the same bed your daughter was born in. Good morning. Good morning.
Wow. Sorry, didn't mean to stop it there, but I just wanted to read what Fiona said about that line in particular. I feel like it's quite important to talk about it now. Even though it's an awkward thing to say in a song, "you R'd me," some people need to say it out loud in order to understand that's what happened to them. And my hope is that maybe some women and men will be able to sing along with that line and allow it to tell the truth for them. Because sometimes it's just really hard to say, especially if you don't want to hurt the person who did it to you. that's another thing. Gosh. It's hard to say something that harsh about it. So even though I felt like, wow, it's just a clunky thing to put in the middle of a song, I also feel it'll be important to the people it matters to. And of course it brings up stuff of my own. It started out me wanting to write something about my own feelings, but it was just too hard. I wanted to make it about not just me, but about other people. I'm like that when I write a lot as well. When things are hard to write, I do that sometimes. And this woman really got me. I spent so much time recording it in different ways until I realised that I needed to have a bunch of other women singing with me on it. Yeah, because it could relate to a lot of women. Very powerful. So she's kind of saying it may not be about her, but it kind of is about her too. It's about a lot of women. Yeah, interesting. Okay, I'll carry on. Wow. Wow, those harmonies in that, and the way it wasn't really like defined or refined, and it like, yeah, it sounded so clustered, like the and like it was like a big sound rather than you hearing like voices so individually. It sounded more together. That kind of makes sense, it being about being together. I like how the song is also called For Her, and for her means like it being like for all the ladies, all the women. This one's for you. You know, this one's for her. I love that. That's really cool. It's a very powerful, powerful song, to say the least. All right, next song is called Drumset, and it's the second to last song now. So yeah, let's go for
it. The drum set is gone and the rug it was on is still here screaming at me. Why did you take it all away? And the dialing of the phone is no longer fun since you've been done with me, and you don't want to talk with me at all. Why'd you take it all away? I don't believe it. I don't believe your reasoning. Now I understand you're a human and you got to lie, you're a man, and you got to get what you want, how you want it, but so do I, and I wanted to try. Why did you not want to try? Why did you take it all away? Why did you take
Sounds
it
like a
all
breakup.
away? Why did you not want to try? Why did you take it all away? Take it all away.
Really driving that question in.
Why did you take it all away?
You took it all away.
Why did and the dialing of the phone is no longer fun since you've been done with me, and you don't want to talk with me at all. Why'd you take it all away? And you got to get what you want, how you want it, but so do I, and I wanted to try. Why did you not want to try? Why did you take it all away? Why did you not want?
I know we're nearing the end here, but I just love that, like, I did nothing wrong, I don't believe it, I don't believe it, I don't believe your reasoning. Like, I felt that before. It was like, I don't believe this, I don't believe what you're saying is true, I don't believe that's the real reason you want to break up with me, because it feels like ridiculous. It almost feels like, no, that can't be a reason, there's obviously something else, you just don't like me, or like, maybe you've met someone else or something. It's like, it can't be that. And then like, I understand you're human, you've got to lie, you're a man. That's kind of a jab. That's like being like, you've got to lie, you're a man. That's what they do. It's a jab. And you've got to get what you want, how you want it. But so do I. And I wanted to try. Why didn't you want to try? I just love the way that all leads into one another. Like each part leads to another part, and it ultimately leading to the why did you not want to try? I wanted to try. Why didn't you want to? Answer me. And it doesn't seem like there's an answer.
Try. Why did you take it all away? Why did you not want to try? Why did you take it all away? Why did you not want to try? Why did you take it all away?
Ooh, interesting end. And there's just nothing, and nothing. Oh, the next song is called On I Go. And it's the last song. And on I go, maybe? And on I go. I don't know. Let's go for it though.
I'm not gonna to ward or away. Up until now it was day next day. Up until now in a rush to prove. But now I only move to move. I'm not gonna to ward or away. Up until now it was day next day. Up until now in a rush to prove. But now I only move to move. I'm not gonna to ward or away. Up until now it was day next day. Up until now in a rush to prove. But now I only move to move.
Wow. This is very experimental.
Up until now it was day next day.
I wanted to say as well, like, it feels like she's saying, you know, I was doing lots and lots and lots of things. There's something else. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Then it sounds like there's a sudden, like, stop to that, and you only move to move, meaning, like, there's no reason of moving. The only reason is just so I move. This was my version of the Vipassana chant that I sang in jail. She was in jail? I didn't know she was in jail. She went to jail. I sang it during the night just to calm myself down. When we were all in the waiting room, there was a camera and I was stupidly, defiantly singing towards the camera. It's not a good idea to have any sarcasm or personality at all when you're dealing with cops. Just politeness and okay, sir, as much as it effing hurts to do so, that's the lesson. Okay. I don't remember exactly the meaning of the chant, but it's so fun to sing. And it means that feelings arise and fall away again, and it's all impermanent. To be at peace with the concept is to be happy. Yeah, I always feel like that. Like, well, more so as I've gotten older, I feel that way of being like, okay, things feel bad now, but it always goes away, and then you feel okay again until the next time. But like, yeah, that's cool. I like that. That's what the song means, but I would start to just sing it while I was hiking. When I walk on the rhythm, and I have to keep the rhythm going for the whole time that I'm walking. It usually means that I end up singing along, at least in my head. Then when I was walking, I started doing the chant, but then it just stopped meaning so much to me. And I started to make up my own little chant to tell myself what I believed about my life going forward. What I really wanted it to be about was there doesn't have to be any specific meaning or reward or consequences of the things I'm doing. I do them because I enjoy doing them. Funnily enough, this reminds me of what someone said to me the other day, and also following my Florence and the Machine thing where I was talking about the ocean being so big, sometimes it feels great to stand in front of it and know it could just wipe you out, and you don't really mean much. You know, you're just here amongst billions of other people. And like, sometimes it's nice to feel absolutely insignificant, to feel significant in your own world, and just be happy with what you be happy with what you can gain and get, but there's no real reason for anything. I was just talking about that, and it's, kind of bordering on the optimistic nihilism. And this is what this subscriber told me, patron actually told me. And then I looked up optimistic nihilist, and as I read into it, I was like, gosh, I do that a lot with things actually. But now reading this, I'm like, yeah, I feel that in this too. What she's saying, like, it just kind of doesn't matter, you know? Just do what you want because you enjoy doing them. There's no meaning or reward, just meaning or reward, just do it because you enjoy it. And I kind of love that. It's a very good thing just to take you out of your head sometimes. It then says, I do them for the doing them, not for the results. I'm going to make music for myself and to get myself through things and not think about what other people think about it. I don't want to prove anything anymore. That could happen in the long run. But for now, I do things because I want to do them, because I like to do them. I don't do them for any other reason. There's no past, there's no present. It's not like, oh, stay in the present. It's just basically I'm doing what I'm going to do, and I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to decide when I'm going to stop doing it, and I'm going to decide when I start doing it. I'm just going to move. Yeah, it's very mindful actually. It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter what you think it looks like. It doesn't matter what you think it means or what I think it means. It's just happening. It just is, and that's all right. I love that a lot. I love that a lot. Just do what you want for the sake of doing it. You know, do it because you enjoy it. Don't do it for any other reason. That's very cool.
Till I win a rush to prove, but now I only move to move. On like a nut to water away. Up until now it was day next day. Up until I win a rush to prove, but now I only move to move. Up until now it was day next day. Up until I win enough. Fuck shit.
That's cool. She's like, messed up.
In the long run, in the long run, in the long run. On like a nut to water away. Up until now it was day next day. Up until I win a rush to prove, but now I only move to move.
I like the
different
like sounds coming in.
Up until I win a rush to prove, but now I only move to move.
Ooh. Is that it? Cool. Yeah, I love the like little different sounds that would come in, like down, down, down. Like that was cool. I like that. And the way she changed her voice just a little bit. I also love that this is something she just like to chant when she's doing things, like a little mantra in a way. Yeah, I really love that. That was really cool. The whole album was very cool, very interesting. A lot I'd like to get to know about her. I'd really, really, really love to listen to her older stuff too. I have a feeling I'm really gonna like it. And it might show me a lot of how it got to this sort of sound and these words and stuff. I don't know, but that was really cool. I love her voice. Wow, what a cool rock kind of chick voice, actually. A bit southern and in some ways, but like I was saying before, bluesy, rock and roll, soulful. Love it. Really enjoyed it. Absolutely enjoyed it. The first like few songs I was like, yeah, this is cool. I was like into it, but then I started to really get into it when it got to like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I started to really get into it 9, 10. You know what I mean? Yeah, because sometimes it takes me a moment to get with the sound, but because it's a very new sound, not something I've really heard in a while. This kind of sound, I suppose. I loved it, and I really hope you enjoyed this reaction. Yeah. And follow me on my socials, all of that, and hopefully I'll look into the lyrics a little bit more. Maybe like I'll do a little thing on my website just for a few songs that I choose. But yeah, anyway, see you later and bye.